Did you know there's a whole category of words that people use all the time? The only problem is that they don't actually exist. And using these 7 words, especially in the wrong context, can make you look, well, dumb. Unfortunately, dumb is a word with many synonyms like foolish, dim-witted, and you get the picture. So what are these 7 words and what's wrong with using them? Let's find out. Word number 1, non-defunct. Non-defunct is also non-existent. This fake word employs a double negative. Since defunct means no longer functioning, non-defunct would mean the opposite, not no longer functioning, which is to say, functioning. Did we get sucked into Eminem's 7th circle of double negatives? Even if non-defunct was a real word, it would be an unnecessarily pompous way of saying simply functioning. Word number 2, madded. The fact that mad, which is rightfully an adjective, has been knocked sideways and turned into a verb really mads me. I mean, it angers, irritates, annoys, infuriates, and enrages. As you can see, there are plenty of alternatives, so why turn a perfectly fine adjective into a perfectly atrocious verb? You end up with phrases like, he madded me by refusing to eat the pickled herring ice cream I made for dessert. Simply maddening. Word number 3, anyways. Anyways is fine for playground use, but will earn you an immediate deduction on your term paper. The problem is that tiny letter on the end of the word. It shouldn't be there. So the correct usage is, anyway, before moving on, you should subscribe to this channel. The informal usage would be, anyways, before moving on, you should subscribe to this channel. Again, the word is anyway, not anyways. Leave out that one pesky curvaceous S, and you've upgraded your brain. Word number 4, orientate. While this word does technically exist in both American and British dictionaries, it is not generally considered standard or necessary in American English. Why? Because there's a perfectly simple alternative, orient, as in she will orient him to the job. In American English, orientate is more correctly used to mean turn to the east, as in they plan the garden so that it orientates. Yeah, I know, it sounds weird. So in this case, you could just say faces east. In all other instances, just say orient. Word number 5, refudiate. This is a non-existent word with a serious identity crisis. It's too long to be refute and too confused to be repudiate. Kind of like a sport, neither spoon nor fork. So when you're at the dinner table, don't reach for refudiate when you really mean refute, or repudiate, or just plain reject, as in reject the word refudiate because it doesn't exist. Word number 6, mischievous. I had a hard time typing this word because my autocorrect kept substituting the correct word, which is mischievous. I guess I can't blame people for adding the extra syllable and turning mischievous into mischievous. Maybe because it has devious vibes which seem almost to define the word. In any event, the correct word is mischievous, even though that somehow sounds a little less satisfying. Word number 7, irregardless. Technically, this is a word that shouldn't exist, but does. As I type this into Microsoft Word, I see the squiggly spell check line of death, which indicates that it's a misspelling or a word that doesn't really exist. But guess what? Regardless of what Microsoft Word says, irregardless is actually a word. You'll find it in the dictionary, but you'll also find that its definition is regardless. That's right, irregardless equals regardless. So save yourself the extra syllable, since irregardless is considered to be non-standard. Here's a fun fact, there are actually words that, like irregardless, are quite cumbersome to say, like irrelentless or irresistless. Note that after I typed these words, my spell check went off into the woods and died.